Okay, hello everybody and welcome back. This is the second installment of our Conquest Basics video set. Today we're going to be talking specifically about crafting in Conquest, how to help out yourself get to your personal goals, and how to help out the guild get into the top 10 for Conquest for the week. First off, we're going to go ahead and identify the different types of crafting materials that you're going to be using, and some of the things that you can actually craft that will actually get you points for Conquest. First off, we're going to go see the trainers. The trainers, just like they are on most areas, they're going to be over in the stronghold and crew skill area, up in the most northeastern part of the one quadrant here. You can see I'm here. All your crafting trainers sit right in this area here. We'll go over to them real quick. This specific tune is actually an armor mech. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go see my trainer. If I haven't picked up some of the skills or the schematics specifically for Conquest, we're going to go ahead and get those. Your Conquest schematics are going to be all the way at the bottom, so you can come in here, you can minimize some of these other areas until you get down to your strongholds. And these are the different schematics that you can potentially pick up for strongholds. You're going to see all the different stuff in here. This is fabricator, prefab stuff that you can do. These you can actually craft, and they'll actually you can trade them for different decorations for your strongholds. Specifically, I already have all the schematics that I need for crafting Conquest. What you want to do is you want to come over to your crew skills tab, wander over to your actual skill, and you're going to wander over here right to the strongholds in Conquest. Now what we're going to do, specifically on your armor mechs, you have the ability to craft armored vehicles and starship weapons. Everyone has the ability to craft the invasion force, and as you can see here, these are armored vehicles and starship weapons that the armor mech makes that can be made for invasion force. The reason I mention these is because if you come over to your Conquest tab up here in your mission log, over to your Conquest tab, and you pull it down, what it shows you is that these missions up here are all crafting missions. The little hammer, these are all your crafting missions that you can do for the week to get points for. And they are war supplies. If you look at them, if you come over to your tab here, crafting war supplies. It tells us right here, infantry supply kits, starship weapons, armored vehicles, crystal capacitors, and holocrons of strategy. If we look at our crafting tab over here, you'll see all these different types of war supplies. So what you're going to get is you're actually going to get, for crafting one of any of these items, you'll actually get the points that are associated with that item. For this week, it's 1,000. If you're looking at crafting an invasion force, it's going to be 2,000. But you'll get those points. This week, we're looking at Total Galactic War, and crafting for this week is repeatable. We see our infinity symbol. So all this stuff is all repeatable. So it's really easy for us to get up to our personal goals this week. Just crafting alone, it's a little bit of a credit sink. Takes a good significant amount of time. The good thing about crafting, though, specifically for Conquest, is you can get a bunch of these different items going and walk away, and come back another time, and they're all done, and you get the points for them, and you get to carry on. So this week we've got different war supplies that we can craft, and in addition to that, we have a one-time objective here of invasion force. Okay, so, and again, just like I already said here, the invasion force is one of each of these. When we're looking at the different types of war supplies, like I said, this tune specifically is an armor mech. she crafts armored vehicles and starship weapons. If you have an artifice crafter, then they're going to be able to craft your holocron strategy and your crystal capacitors. And then if you're a biochem, they'll craft the infantry supply kits. If you don't have a lot of tunes, or if you just don't want to level up a bunch of different tunes to be able to craft all these items, you can craft a couple of them and then go buy the other pieces off the GTN, or get with your other guildies and they'll probably swap you out, trade you one for one for holocrons, for vehicles, or whatever the case may be, so that you can go ahead and in the end make invasion forces. So like I said, these are the different items that you can craft. The good thing here is, one, you're getting points for them, and in the end you can sell the invasion forces on the GTN for some pretty good credits. But what I also want you to take away is that you can actually wander over here. A lot of guilds are still working on their flagships and getting the rest of their flagships unlocked, trying to get the rest of their rooms and stuff like that. Specifically when we're talking about the flagships, every single room that's not unlocked from your initial buy, so the flagships originally went up, they were 50 million credits. You got the first floor, then everything else you had to expand on, and it's anywhere from 2 to 5 million credits per room, 2 to 6 frameworks per room that you need, and then within those frameworks, in order to get a framework, you need 50 encryptions. Now what you can do in order to get those encryptions, we can conquest. If you're, just like we talked about in the last video, if your guild happens to get into the top 10 for the week, each of the members that meets their goal will get these encryptions. And you can take a look at anything: command encryption, engineering encryption, logistical encryption. So what we end up doing usually with these encryptions is we take them and we dump them into the guild bank, and then use them to buy frameworks for the ships to unlock the other rooms. So you can get a couple through here. You can also get encryptions by defeating the planetary commanders, or you can actually craft to them if you're that hardcore. And what I mean by that is, one encryption is tradable, or one dark project that we see over here. One dark project is actually tradable for one encryption. So one dark project, one encryption, 50 encryptions for a framework, and 4 to 6 frameworks per room, depending which room you're looking to unlock. So that's how we end up getting our flagships unlocked all the way. Ours still has a couple more rooms to go, so that's kind of what we're working on now. But yeah, so there's a bunch of different ways that crafting actually does play into it, specifically for the individual and also for the guild. So I hope this video helped. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, or hit me up in game. Usually one of the Erics. Hope everybody had a good time. Hopefully it wasn't too long. Thanks again.